Hello, thank you for joining me today for Real Estate Religion and You. My name is Dr. Sylvia Black, licensed real estate broker with affordable homes and apartments, and I'm licensed to preach and ordained as a minister. And I have my master's degree in sacred theological divinity. And I'd like to thank you for joining me today for Real Estate Religion and You. Now, today I'd like to talk to you on a continued basis of my book, Never Grow Old in Body, Mind, and Spirit. Never grow old in body, mind, and spirit. I know it says something different here, but the final cover will say in body, mind, and spirit. Now, chapter 1 talks about how to stay young in the body. Chapter 2 talks about how to stay young in the mind. And chapter 3 talks about how to stay young in spirit. Body, mind, and spirit. Now, today I'd like to touch on chapter 2, which talks about how to stay young in the mind. And again, I would like to thank you for joining me today. This book is available on booksgaloreandmore.com. That's www.booksgaloreandmore.com. You can hit me up on Facebook, Dr. Sylvia Black. You can hit me up on my YouTube address at Highway to Heaven Church. You can hit me up on Black Preaching Network, Facebook, Dr. Sylvia Black. I said that. And of course, my real estate website, affordablehomesandapartments.net. And Books Galore and More is where you'll find a copy of this book, Never Grow Old in Body, Mind, and Spirit. And thank you for joining me today. Now, in the beginning of chapter 2, I talk about some of the foods that you can eat that will keep your mind pretty much healthy. Okay, which includes fruits, vegetables. Okay. And today's topic we're going to talk about is how does exercise keep the mind young? Okay, how does exercise keep the mind young? Okay, and now scientists are starting to think that regular aerobic exercise may be the single most important thing that you can do for long-term health on your brain. Okay, while the heart and the lungs respond loudly to a sprint of the treadmill, the brain is quietly getting fitter with each step too. For mental fitness, aim at least 30 minutes of physical activity every day. At least 5 days a week, I would say. 5 days a week, and don't skip 2 days in a row. Okay. Now, too much or too little energy throws a kink in the brain's delicate machinery. A low glycemic diet, or high fiber with moderate amounts of fat and protein, is broken down more slowly in the body than high glycemic foods, such as sweets and white starches. A steady pace of digestion in the gut gives a more reliable flow of energy to the brain, likely optimizing the organ's long-term health and performance. While overindulging can make the brain sluggish and lead to long-term detriments to your brain, too few calories can also impair brain function. Extreme dieting can cause some hearts to feel stretches of calm, a feeling that many underlie the addiction of anorexia, a feeling that may underlie, but many studies have also linked dieting with distraction, confusing, and memory impairment. Now, when we rest and dream, memories are sifted through, some discarded, others consolidated and saved. When we don't sleep, a recent study found that proteins build up in the synapses, okay, possibly making it hard to think and learn new things. Furthermore, chronically speaking poorly, in contrast to not enough, is linked to cognitive decline in old age, although the relationship may not be casual. Growing evidence suggests a caffeine habit may protect the brain. Okay, according to large longitudinal studies, 2 to 4 perks me ups a day may stave off normal cognitive decline and decrease the incidence of Alzheimer's by 30 to 60%. Okay, it's unclear whether the benefits come from caffeine or from the antioxidants found in coffee and tea. But the latte may improve cognitive this afternoon and several decades from now. Okay, some theories credit the introduction of fish into the human diet that the evolution of tremendous cognitive prowess. Essentially, fatty acids such as omega 3s are critical to brain function. and are proving beneficial for treating such brain sapping ailments as depression. Studies on this efficacy of omega 3 supplements, however, have had mixed results to get doses from food sources. Sources such as flax seeds, fatty fish, and grass fed animals. Stress takes a toll on the brain by washing harmful chemicals over the hippocampus and over the brain areas involved in memory. Okay, some scientists suspect that living a balanced lifestyle and pursuing relatively relating activities such as yoga, socializing, and crafting may delay memory impairment by reducing stress. Supplements have been getting a bad rap recently, with even the familiar multivitamin now looking like a waste of money or worse. Brain pills such as ginkgo and melatonin likely belong to the trash as well. Despite their nature origins, they are not free of potentially side effects, such as high blood pressure, digestion trouble, fertility problems, and depression. And among healthy individuals, ginkgo offers no brain benefits beyond that of the placebo. In some cases, the placebo worked better. Um, I like to read. When I'm not reading, I'm relaxing, I'm analyzing something or something that somebody said. I'm thinking about something that I could read. I'm constantly studying new and different things, crossword puzzles if you need to. You can do crossword puzzles that keep your brain in shape. Taking a continuing education course or taking a class in gym or yoga class, exercise class, you can join the gym. Lack of education is a strong predator of cognitive decline. The more you've tried to learn, the better you'll be at mental sit-ups in your maturity, I should say. Don't be afraid to try something new and different, okay? And challenge the unknown every day. Look for new and different ways to keep your mind focused and actively thinking. Okay, now that's one source in how exercising keeps the mind young. Okay, now as I said, I talked about the foods, certain foods that you can eat, and I'll touch on them briefly. Blueberries, for example. Okay, a superfood rich in antioxidants. Blueberries reduce oxidative stress in the brain and have been shown to improve learning capacity and motor skills. Okay, citrus fruits. Okay, pucker up for lemons, limes, oranges, and grapefruits. Can all help your brain stay healthy. Whether you're including it in a salad dressing, sipping on it in a lemonade, or making a Slurpee. Nuts. Sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't. Almonds are high in vitamin E, monosaturated fats, and other vitamins and minerals, making them a snacking no-brainer, particularly when it comes to preventing cognitive decline and preserving memory. Fish. Salmon is rich in omega 3 fatty acids, which helps prevent cognitive decline, but is far from the only fish high in those beneficial fats. Sardines, anchovies, and lake trout are all great sources of omega 3 fatty acids. Avocados. Yes, avocados are high in fat, uh, but it's good fat that helps our brains function. Okay? The monosaturated fat in avocados helps prevent high blood pressure, which is a risk factor for Alzheimer's disease. Coffee. I mentioned earlier, your morning cup might do more than just help you stay alert. Okay, coffee is high in antioxidants, which surprises people. Okay, studies have shown that regular coffee drinkers have a decreased risk of dementia. Greek yogurt. Instead of reaching for that pint of ice cream, which when stress strikes, try Greek yogurt, topped with fresh fruit and a handful of granola or any other cereal or whole grain nuts. Okay. Eggs, stop ordering eggs whites and embrace the bright round yolks. When you eat eggs, your brain uses these vitamins to support memory and increase communication among brain cells. Whole grains. Say hello to oatmeal. Hello, oatmeal. Barley and quinoa. All great complex carbohydrates that help fuel the brain. Okay, and we all know that exercise keeps the mind young. Okay, now other ways that you can stay young is, play your favorite music. But let's talk about Alzheimer's disease a little bit. And then next time we're going to talk about how to stay young in spirit. Okay. Now, but first of all, music. When you play your music, you play, try to play something that brings back good memories, to you, as a mature person. There are a lot of music, a lot of tunes out there that you can remember that you used to listen to when you were going to high school or when you was in love or when you was doing something that you enjoyed doing when you were younger. So try to stick with playing music of that nature. Me, I like jazz. I like jazz. It's soothing. I like to listen to it and I like to sing it. I like to turn some gospel songs into with a jazz, feel or with a jazz beat to it. And so music definitely helps, soothe the savage beast, as it's been said. Now let's talk about Alzheimer's disease a little bit, since that's sort of related right there in the same topic. Now, Alzheimer's disease is particularly difficult pill to swallow because when people tell you you have Alzheimer's disease, you'd be like, what? And they say, you got Alzheimer's disease? You say, what? I said I got Alzheimer's, not hearing problem, okay? Okay. Now, because difficult pill to swallow, because the cause is unknown, but it does not seem to be related to any particularly bad health habits. Okay? And now, while progression of Alzheimer's can be stalled, halted, or, just, uh, put off a little while, in part, okay, by continued active involvement in mind stimulating and physical activity, progression of the disease is nonetheless inexorable. In other words, if you've been diagnosed with it, it's yours. However, you can prolong it, you can put it off, you can keep it from coming on. And I pray to God I never get. Okay, now the author of Ecclesiastes acknowledges the vexing unfairness of the human perspective. Okay, I don't want to get into the spirit just yet because that's going to start next week. So I'm going to continue to talk about how exercise keeps the mind young and different things that you can do. Okay, it keeps the mind active and healthy and strong. Okay, using your leisure time wisely. Okay, using your leisure time of a mature age to read books, especially the biographies and autobiographies of God's saints and servants. Okay, and you're never too mature to read. Okay, now how do you handle maturity? I was going to talk a little bit about, before I touched upon in the first part, I talk about, some foods to avoid. I talk about smoking and alcohol, how that affects the body. Um, Using time wisely, and what happens when your body starts changing as you get older. You know, well, definitely you need to stay, on the treadmill, in the gym, or constantly just walking. A great place to do some walking is in the mall. If you can go to any mall in your area and just, walk. I don't like to go to the mall unless I'm going to buy something. So usually what I'll do is if I'm not really going to buy anything, if I'm not looking for anything to buy, so I think of something that I need and whatnot, and then I'll try to look for that. But, I'll go to the mall that has, a place to eat and the movies. Because then, we can, sit down and eat after we walked and then sit down and enjoy a movie. Okay. In the mall is great exercise, I'm telling you. If you are really, really ambitious, walk around the perimeter of the mall. Now, I personally have never done that yet. I'll probably get a group of ladies and we'll probably do that, maybe get adventurous or what have you, and walk around the mall, when the weather gets warm again. But, I have successfully actually walked the entire duration of a couple of different malls. Involuntarily, of course, I parked in the wrong spot. I usually like to park right outside the store that I'm going in, but I had parked on the other side of the mall this particular time. And I was going in the store, and the sign is right up there at that entrance as if the store is right there. And I go in there, and the store is not there. And I'm like, oh my God, so I actually had to walk almost the entire perimeter of the mall to get to the store. And then I remember there's two entrances, one on this side of the mall and one on that side of the mall. So I'm talking about my book, Never Grow Old in Body, Mind, and Spirit. And this book is available on Books Galore and more. Okay. Now, what happens when your body starts changing, and I thank God, I know with me, I have to try to constantly, like going to the gym, exercising is mandatory for me. There's no way around it. I do not consider that, and I cannot consider that as a leisure activity or something to do, just to kill the time or whatever. It's something that I have to do, and I've always done it, ever since, I was 20, in my 20s. I've gone to the gym, exercise, because it's an excellent way to keep your bones strong. If you ever seen, I've seen it in men, but I've seen it more in ladies, mature ladies, where they're walking they're walking and their face is like facing downward and their back is like this, something like this, and they can't stand up for nothing, stand up straight. Their head is this way, but the body is this way, and they're walking like they're in a slanted position, like they're almost in a seated position, pretty much, And one of the ways that you can avoid that is wear a back brace. You can buy it from the store. It's made out of cloth. You can get it from any health food store. I don't want to say drugstore. Uh, Places where you can buy your prescriptions. Where you buy your prescriptions. I don't want to give credit to any particular store. But you can go to any store where you get your prescriptions and you can get it. It usually costs, I think, around, I don't want to tell how much, but it's not cheap. Okay. And it's velour, it's made out of cloth, and it's breathable. And you can get it to wear around your back. You wear it under your clothes. And if you wear a girdle, and this goes for men too, because, men, you can, I wouldn't call not the girdle that you pull up like panties. There's a girdle that you just put around your waist, very much like the brace itself. The brace itself comes in small, medium, and large, and you can actually put it around your waist, and it sticks with the velour, and then you put a girdle on it. It's just the girdle that goes around your waist. It doesn't have the panty part or any other part. It goes underneath, right around the middle section, and it'll actually hold it in a little bit. It makes you look a little bit bigger, and the pants that you get can't be, closed. Like I can wear 10 pants if they stretch. Yeah. But with that, I would have to wear 12. Okay. So you always, when you wear back brace, that would help keep your back strong and stable. Exercising, of course, there's back exercises that you do. It's if you go to the gym, they'll tell you which machine helps your back. It's a back that you lean back on, and that's the one that actually helps your back stay strong. You need something that's going to keep your back strong. That's why going to the gym is not just just for exercise or for socializing. It's actually therapeutic, and that's why I said it's mandatory for me. That I go to the gym, that I do the treadmill, or that I practice even when I'm at home and I don't go to the gym. I do exercises. I do my push-ups, my sit-ups, my twirls, my twists, and I get on my treadmill. Not all at the same time, but I try to practice sitting up straight, and that's important because you'll find yourself slumped over, and then just imagine yourself walking in that position. That just looks terribly uncomfortable, um, to walk in a bent over position. And I believe that unless like unless there's something, unless you were born that way, I think Now, I don't know if it's true, and I have no medical evidence to support my theory. But I believe that even if you are sort of bent over like that, if you're walking in a bent over position, that you still can perhaps even straighten up your back. You may need surgery. You may need intense, there may be something intense because you have to remember the bones are flexible. This is what I've been told, when I was growing up. I had people to help me and give me advice and stuff. Your bone is flexible. It's not something that's like a steel beam, that's just like here. You know, your bone can bend and it can straighten up. It can bend and it can straighten up. Not at the same time, not like that. I mean, your bone, it'll be a slow, gradual progression. And so I believe that, based on what I was told, that they have a brace that you can wear around your shoulder, that would actually stand you straight up, and you would wear, they sell braces. Matter of fact, they advertise it on the store. They sell knee braces, they sell arm braces. Now they're selling all this kind of stuff, and you can get, to help, get yourself back in shape. Keep yourself active. Keep that blood circulating. Keep your mind active. Stay alert. That's one of the main things. When you're getting older, a lot of people take advantage of older women that they see, especially if you're by yourself, going to cash your social security check or whatever, or if you're doing some shopping. You're more susceptible to people taking advantage of you. Not saying that they will, because hey, you might know karate yourself. Don't sleep on an older person because they weren't always that age. You know what I'm saying? But you may you look more vulnerable. You appear to be more vulnerable to some people, and it's good to stay alert. What I mean, if you can't do nothing but run, as I told somebody, I said these feet are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. Because one of these days, these feet are gonna run right away from you. Okay. My mother used to always say, better to say there she go than here she lay. Okay, come on, somebody. Okay, so now how do we handle maturity as you're getting older? Okay. And I talked a little bit about this over the last couple of weeks. Now, maturity can be best handled with developing a walk with God. Okay, and now I'm sort of preparing you for what we're going to talk about next week. Okay, developing habits that cause you to praise and worship God often. Okay, because there's no way to do it but without Him. You can't grow old gracefully. Just like you can't nip and tuck it and think it's going to stay nipped and tucked unless you surely go to God and He can nip and tuck it for you. Without the operation, without the scissors, without all that other stuff. Okay. Like I said before, listen to music that brings back good memories to you. Always respect your elders. Okay. And next week we're going to talk about maturing God's way. We're going to be talking about subjects like that, maturing God's way. We're going to talk about what the Bible has to say about aging. We're going to talk about, let's see, what's up, thinking positive, be not conformed to the ways of this world. What you think, staying healthy, we're going to talk about diets and stuff like that. We're going to get into the foods, and then we'll probably conclude, with one final topic. We're not going to be talking about this for very long. Okay, but basically, like I said, you're handling maturity as you grow old. Exercising, keeping your mind young, staying alert, staying active. You know what I mean? Reading. I think that you can perhaps even, once you've been diagnosed, the experts say once you've been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, you can delay it, but you cannot deny it. Okay. But there may be a way that you can prevent it altogether. Okay. By practicing some of the things that I have written in my book, Never Grow Old in Body, Mind, and Spirit. And I got this, I did my research and I got a lot of stuff from experts, and pretty much they know what they're talking about because I've practiced a lot of these things over the years. Eating healthy, eating right. Some I don't take too many multivitamins, but I take some. And I can talk to you about the vitamins that I take. I take a few. I only take the ones that I actually need. I don't take vitamins just because of what somebody else says it does for your body. Okay, I only take it because it's what I may need. Because I know that what it's going to do for my body. You see what I'm saying? I've always practiced eating healthy. Like I said, I don't believe in diets because as I read to you in here, what diets can cause severe depression in the mind because your brain is being deprived of the vitamins and the nutrients that you're supposed to be getting from a healthy meal. So if you don't know what you're doing when you're dieting, you could actually make your condition worse than actually making it better. Okay, so we have to learn how to keep our mind active. If you don't know what you're doing, you go talk to your doctor. If your internal medicine doctor doesn't know, then you need to seek the advice from a nutritionalist before you decide to go on a diet. Because you have to remember, as a mature adult, you're probably taking just a couple of different medications. Okay, maybe not a lot, maybe just even one. You know, and when you go on a diet, your medication may not work like it's supposed to work, okay, or it may overwork, okay, and then the food, you ever notice, if you ever been in the hospital or you ever visited anybody in the hospital, you ever notice that they always feed you first before they give you your medication? Well, that's the thought, and sometimes they give you certain medication before, so you can take some medicine on them, so you got to know what you're doing, especially when you're taking medication, and when you're getting, as you're maturing, because if you don't do it right, you could worsen your situation, and then you could even possibly become diagnosed with Alzheimer's as a result of the neglect or the things that you do. When you do something on your own, get the opinion of an expert before you get playing with your body. That's why I say I don't believe in diets. I cook for myself healthy foods. The way I cook, I bake, I broil, I steam my foods at home. But when I want to treat myself, I go out and I eat fried chicken. Once in a while, I'll eat some ribs, usually around like when you're cooking out. If I have some leftovers, I'll eat me some ribs, and maybe some neck bones. I don't know. Y'all probably don't know nothing about no neck bones. But, that's red meat. So I try to stick with fish and chicken. And then this way, and salad and stuff, so you know that, what you eat is going to do your body good, And there's certain vitamins, like, if you have certain things, like if you have dark spots under your eyes, you can start taking iron pills. And that will take the dark spots from under your eyes, but it will do so much more for your body as well. Not just that. Okay, so I want to thank you for joining me today for Real Estate, Religion, and You. And my name is Dr. Sylvia Black, and I've been talking about my book, Never Grow Old, in Body, Mind, and Spirit, which is available on Books Galore and more. Okay, Books Galore and more. And basically, like I said, whatever age that you are at this point, you can start right now, with what you have, and you can end up prolonging the years of your life. No matter where you are in life, no matter what age you are, no matter how unhealthy you've been eating, or what kind of diet you've been on, or no diet, you can actually start right now where you're at and start practicing some of the things that I put in my book, Never Grow Old in Body, Mind, and Spirit, and you can actually prolong the years of your life because you become healthier as you get older instead of your body deteriorating. So I want to thank you for joining me today for Real Estate, Religion, and You, and I ask you to join me next week right here on Channel Public Access TV Channel 20, Wednesdays 6:30 to 7 p.m., and Saturdays from 12:30 to 1 in the afternoon. Hello, sister.